Okay, great. Well, it is lovely to have everyone here. Thank you so much for joining us. Today's session will be about the process of product development. My name is Anna. I am the manager of customer success and partnerships here at Cogent. We've also got Gabby, who is a business analyst for us and also a product owner. And then we've also got Archana, who is one of our Scrum Masters. So we're very excited to talk about this. We will have a Q&A session at the end. If you do have any other questions that are pressing, please put them in the chat for us. Okay, Gabby, if you'd like to go to the next slide.
Sure.
Okay, to start with, a little bit about Cogent's background. We started in 2005 as an SAP consulting firm, and since then we've grown quite a bit. We now are in a wide range of areas, including IoT, mobile app development, which we'll be talking about today, staff augmentation, etc. So we have got offices in Spain, India, and the United States. So we've got teams all over the world that work together on our projects. And we do have over 500 plus years of man years in experience at our company. All right, we can go to the next one. Okay, this is just a quick look at some of the services that we offer. Go ahead to the next one. And here's a look at all of our teams. So we do have 24/7 teams that work in 3 shifts based on time zones. Okay. So now let's get into the process of product development. The first of which is the ideation stage. So this stage is critical to the success of any product. And it involves identifying the needs of the market and developing a set of requirements that will guide the development process. So it typically involves 4 key steps, which you see listed here. The first is to conduct market research, and this is done to identify customer needs and preferences. So this may involve conducting surveys, analyzing customer data, and studying market trends as well. And then based on this research, the development team can identify the key requirements that the product should meet. The second step is to connect with clients and gather their requirements. This involves meeting with clients, discussing their needs and preferences, and identifying any specific features or functions that they require. And this step is critical to ensure that the product meets the needs of the target market and is successful in the long run. We also make sure that any risks are discovered during this phase so that we can tackle those early on. Once the requirements have been identified, the third step is to develop a set of design concepts that will meet those requirements. This may involve brainstorming sessions, sketches, or mock-ups, also known as wireframes. The goal is to develop a set of ideas that will guide the development process and ensure that the product meets the needs of the market. The final step here in the ideation stage is prioritizing the requirements. Not all requirements may be equally important, and it's important that we identify the most critical ones and ensure that they are met. This may involve conducting a cost-benefit analysis or identifying the most important features based on customer feedback. So the ideation stage is a critical step in product development, and it involves all of these steps that we take very seriously. And that leads us to the next stage, which I believe Gabby will take.
Sure, yeah, sorry. So I'll talk about the design process. Design is a pivotal step in the creation of products that not only meet the user needs, but also deliver functional and visual appeal, right? So this process starts by identifying the problem or the need that the product aims to solve or address. Then the designers get together into these brainstorming sessions to generate innovative ideas. They create the sketches, the mock-ups, the prototypes of the product. Normally what happens next is that we have these sessions or workshops with the client where we present our approach for this product or our ideas. And once that is confirmed, then we can create detailed drawings or 3D models, screens that will be used to create the final product. Now, there is a very important step in the design process, which is the user experience and aesthetics. Whenever we are creating a product or an experience or a service, it should always be user-friendly. It should be intuitive, and it should cater the audience needs. It should target it. We do that by paying attention to the product interface. It should be both efficient and adaptable to like all of the scenarios that a user can encounter while going through the product, right? And then the aesthetics is also a very important role in this process. The product should be visually appealing. It should align with the company brand identity. Typically, what can happen is that designers collaborate with marketing or branding experts or professionals to better understand and align the client's vision and mission to the product while delivering a seamless user experience. So the design here at the end serves as a foundation for the user interface experience, providing the building blocks to an intuitive, visually appealing, user-centered interaction with digital products and interfaces. Moving forward, we have the development process. Anna?
Sure. Thanks, Gabby. So the next step is the development process itself, which is begun with defining the architecture of the product. This involves identifying the hardware and software components of the product and how they will interact with each other. The development team needs to ensure that the architecture will reach the requirements that we determined as high priority first, and is scalable and maintainable. The second step is to develop a detailed design for the product. This involves, like Gabby just said, the user experience is going to be at the forefront here, but it also involves the technical specifications for each component of the product and how they will interact with each other. So the flow that you see through an app, what each button leads to, all of that needs to be taken into consideration. Once the design is finalized, the third step is to implement the product. This involves writing the code for the software components, developing the hardware components, and integrating them together. The development team needs to ensure that the code is well documented, meets the design specifications, and is of high quality. The fourth step is to go through the testing product development phase, which is where we have our QA team, our quality assurance team, go through and test every component to make sure that each component functions on its own and as the product as a whole. The development team needs to identify and fix any defects or bugs that are found during testing and ensure that the product meets all of the requirements that were determined previously. The fifth and final step is to prepare the product for release, and this involves finalizing the product documentation, creating user manuals, terms and conditions, etc. The development team needs to ensure that all of these are in good business practice for the company as well. And the development stage, this development process is very, very important, and it will lead us directly to launch.
Okay, next we have the testing process. This one goes hand by hand with the development process that Anna was just talking about. You can see I'm going to say a few things that she already mentioned with more detail. But yeah, the testing process, we do this to make sure that the product functions properly and meets the customer needs. The development team and the testing team work closely and collaborate throughout the whole development phase to make sure that we have a product with a high quality and that the needs are met. So we start by defining the testing criteria and developing the test cases The test cases should cover every aspect of the user, like that the user needs to go through while using the product, that involves features, functionalities, user interfaces. Then the testing team or QA team performs these test cases, and they document everything, any issue, any bug that they found. If a test case is executed by the testing team and everything goes perfectly fine, no bugs, no issues, then that test case is considered to pass the test or a success. If not, they document and they send everything back to the development team. They need to go and fix all these issues, and then the testing starts over again. So it's like a back and forth process until we make sure that everything works fine. Once that product meets the testing criteria, then it is ready to be released. There's also an important part here, which is the UAT, user acceptance testing. This is where we bring real users to test the product. We need to make sure that the product meets their needs and is also easy to use for them. We will get some feedback from the real users, and that feedback will help us to improve the app and make it more user-friendly each time. There's also an important step that we need to consider here, which is the compatibility testing. We need to make sure that we test the product in different devices, different operating system, and different web browsers. We need to make sure that the product works fine across multiple platforms. If we have a product that is well tested, that would ultimately indicates that it will have a higher customer satisfaction and it will have more success in the market, basically. Then we have the launch, which Anna will take.
Yeah, thanks, Gabby. So next we've got the launch process, which is one of the most exciting parts, in my own opinion. So it is the final step in bringing it to the market, and it typically starts with setting a launch date and creating a launch plan. Now that involves determining the target market, knowing who your users will be, identifying the channels through which the product will be sold, if it was Google Play Store or the iOS App Store, and developing marketing strategies to promote the product. One of the most important aspects of the launch is creating buzz and excitement around the project, and that can be very exciting to participate in as well. It may involve creating teaser campaigns or launching a beta version, like doing a soft launch for friends and family. This helps to generate interest and gather feedback, which will help you alter any requirements that need to be altered before taking it to a larger market. Another important consideration is ensuring that the product is ready for release, and this involves final testing, making any necessary adjustments, and ensuring that the product is fully functional in all of its aspects and it meets all of the needs of your customers. Once you are sure that the product is ready, the launch team will work to create a launch event or campaign that will capture the attention of the target audience, which may involve a social media campaign, hosting a launch party, offering special promotions or discounts to early adopters, or a mix of those things. And then once we have successfully launched, that leads us to post-launch. So here we are focused on gathering feedback from our customers. If there are bugs, we want to identify and fix those as quickly as possible. If something on the app is a poor user experience, if it frustrates our users, that definitely needs to be at the forefront of our attention so we can change those things. We want to make sure that the target audience is pleased while using the app. And then we also monitor the product's performance. We want to see how quickly people are adopting use of the product, if they're staying, if they're coming back, how often they are, what its main use is to our customers. And And then we also want to provide customer support. So if there are frustrations, if somebody is having difficulty with a bug or they clicked a wrong button and did something, we want to make sure that we can be there for those customers to make sure that they have a pleasant experience to increase the likelihood of them coming back to use the app. And then we want to make any adjustments to the marketing strategy as needed. So maybe the target audience is widened, maybe it's narrowed. Maybe there was a use case that came up and customers are finding that it's very useful for something that, was on the back burner for the marketing campaign, and we might want to move that to the forefront. So a lot of post-launch is gathering the feedback, analyzing it, and then adjusting our marketing strategy or the product as needed to best fit our customers.
Thank you, Anna. Yes, Archana?
Sure, yeah. Thank you, Gabby. Thank you, Anna. Hello, everyone. So as you saw right now, Anna and Gabby introduced you to the basic steps involved in product development. So when it comes to actual development, how exactly is it done, or what exactly is it that we do? So here at Cogent, we follow, or rather we have adapted to Scrum methodology. So what is Scrum? Scrum is a widely adopted agile framework for product development, which offers numerous advantages, which comes in context of delivering successful products or projects. I'm going to note down, or I'm going to tell you about some key advantages of using this Scrum in product development. One of which is flexibility and adaptability. So when it comes to Scrum, it's highly adaptive and flexible, which allows the team to respond to changing requirements in the current market conditions. It kind of accommodates and even encourages changes during the development, which ensures that the product remains relevant to the current market conditions. The next important advantage of Scrum is the iterative development. So what do you mean by iterative development? So it kind of promotes development to be done within a short time box cycles, which we call sprints. This approach kind of enables continuous improvement and the ability to incorporate the stakeholder or the user feedback very quickly. It's kind of customer centric. We fundamentally are focused on delivering value to the customer, which encourages regular interactions with the stakeholders and end users to align that the product is met with their needs and expectations. We follow transparency within Scrum framework. What is transparency? Means whenever Scrum provides a high level of transparency into the development process by making the progress visible through the artifacts like product backlog, sprint backlog, and the increments. It kind of fosters trust and collaboration within the team and within the stakeholders. We kind of focus on predictable delivery. It promotes the use of time box iterations, which kind of ensures that the team consistently delivers a potentially shippable product increment at the end of each sprint or at the end of each time boxed event. We kind of reduce risk by breaking the project into smaller, manageable pieces, which we call sprints. So it kind of reduces the risk associated with large, complex project. It allows the teams to basically address issues early within the product development cycle, and so that we can make the necessary adjustments instead of instead of having to let them amend later and having problems later. It kind of allows us to do it at early stages. Then we kind of Scrum allows efficient use of resources by focusing on the most valuable and highest priority features. It reduces unnecessary work by concentrating on what matters the most. Scrum improves communication by emphasizing clear communication within the team and within the client or the stakeholders. Like how we have daily stand-up meetings, we have sprint reviews, we have sprint planning sessions to ensure that everyone is basically on the same page. We have enhanced collaboration within our framework, which encourages the teams to reflect on their processes, on their outcomes during the sprint retrospectives. So this kind of focuses on continuous improvements, which leads to better results over coming time. It increases the productivity by providing a structured approach to work. It helps teams to manage their workload efficiently and minimize waste. which gives us motivated teams by making decisions, taking their ownership of their work, which kind of leads to higher motivation and job satisfaction. Then we have enhanced quality because Scrum focuses on delivering potentially shippable product increment at the end of each sprint, which ensures a high quality throughout the development process. It's basically cost saving over the long time term. We can measure the progress in terms of global collaboration. Also, Scrum teams kind of work together across geographies, making it an effective framework for the distributed and remote teams. So overall Scrum emphasizes on collaboration, iterative development, customer focus, adaptability, which makes it a powerful framework for product development, which helps the team to deliver high quality products that meets the customer needs while adapting to the change very effectively. So this is how we have found Scrum to be very, very useful in necessary product development. And we have found that it enhances project successes in an ever-changing world.
Totally. Thank you, Archana.
Yeah.
Yep. And sorry. Moving forward, this is one of my favorite parts of product development. And I want to emphasize the importance and significance of these tools that are user personas and user journeys when it comes to design and decision making. So these elements or tools are crucial in shaping our approach to product creation that can really resonate with our audience. Specifically, user personas act as guiding stars in the process of decision making. This is not only a profile, this is the embodiment of the people that we are designing for. If we align the features, the functionalities, and the design with our audience needs, then we will make sure that our product that we are creating, designing, and building serves a valuable purpose or a great purpose, right? So user personas help us with the focus, as we can see here, because we design based on that. It's a user-centered design. We understand what the client requires, what the audience requires, what they need, what are the expectations, and we design based on that. The empathy part, I really like this part, because when you put yourself in someone else's shoes, or you see the world through someone else's eyes, and you acknowledge their goals, their challenges, their motivation and frustrations, then you can definitely create solutions that can resonate with them, that can meet their desires and expectations. So that is what user personas, this part of the process do. It helps us create solutions with empathy. And then it also helps with effective communication. 1 second. Because basically the whole team gets together, they collaborate with each other to build an understanding of the target audience. So that would make everyone be on the same page, understanding who is our audience, who do we need to build or create and design for, and that will definitely foster effective communication within the team. Essentially, the user personas is a semi-fictional representation of the ideal user based on research and real data of existing users. How do we do that? Through different forms. It can be user interviews, surveys, analytics, market research, or any type of feedback. This is an example of how it looks. So here we have Luke Smith, we have his picture, general info, bio, personality, motivations, preferred channels, brand logos, and what's most important, in my opinion, their goals and frustrations. This is what we get and what we analyze to build something that will meet their goals and remove all the frustrations. So this is user personas. And then moving forward, we have the user journeys. User journeys is not just about taking the user from point A into point 2, it's understanding what's happening in the middle and enhancing the user experience. How do we do that? Identifying pain points. User journeys reveal those pain points and bottlenecks in the user experience. So the team address all these issues, and then obviously this will improve the overall satisfaction and retention of the user, which is one of the most important things, what Anna was saying before in the post-launch. We want this user to always come back to our product, our experience or service. User journeys also help optimizing the interactions because we will see every part of the process that the user is touching. So if we see all of that, then you can optimize each one of those points. You can make every step more intuitive and more user-friendly. And then it also helps enhancing usability by guiding the design process. So essentially, the user journey is a visualization of the steps that a user goes through to achieve a goal while interacting with a product or a service. As we can see here, we have the user actions, the touch points, the emotions, which is very important. We can see what are the emotions on each part of the process. And then the pain points, which is very, very critical here to understand and take considerations of. And then the possible solutions. So basically, the user journeys goes from the very, very start until the very end, like from when the user sees an ad or a banner for a product that they're really interested in, they download it, they use it, they go through the whole process of signing in, signing up, checking everything, and locking the phone and put it down. So it goes through every aspect of the process of the user. Now, these two elements are not just tools. I see it as a compass that guide the process of decision making and design. We always have the user in our minds. We design for them, and like we know that in the world of design, the heart of everything is the user, right? So that's why we build everything user-centered. And yeah, that would be it for today. Thank you so much for being here, for listening to this webinar. If you have any questions, this is the time for it. One second, let me see the chat. Defining architecture. How to identify the right software or hardware for our need. Venkatesh.
I can take that question if you want, Gabby.
Yeah, sure.
Awesome. So usually there is a point in the process towards once we've gathered the requirements on what the goal is for the product, and we've talked about design, etc. We have a meeting with our engineering team, and they will discuss the architecture options. So if there is hardware that's needed, they'll go over the options based on the requirement, and that is a decision that we come to with you. So it's definitely a process, and that goes the same for software. So our engineering team will talk you through the different options of each, how they'll work together, and what will be the best based on the requirements that you've presented beforehand. Thank you for that question.
How do you determine the location for designing a project? What is the confidential level of your work? So I'm not sure if I understand the first part.
The first part is you have locations all over the world. How do you determine which project is going to be developed in which location? I'm based in the US, but you have locations in Spain and all the other locations. How do you determine if I decide to come to you guys with a project, where's that project going to be developed and designed? Is it going to be based in the US? Is it going to be based in Spain? Like, how does it work?
So typically with US customers, what we'll do is when we go over the requirements with you, that's something that we talk about. We
Okay.
do offer the option for hybrid teams, and the benefits of that is usually lower cost, as well as the team has the option to work around the clock then because they're working in other time zones. So the project typically takes less time in total. Of course, that depends on requirements, etc. So we discuss the budget with you and what your preference is. Some customers have a preference for all US developers and designers, and in that case that all of the work would be done in the US. So that is something that we discuss with you as well.
Got you. And so for confidentiality, like if you want NDAs, do you guys do that?
We do.
Kind of what I'm getting at. Where's your headquarters based out of?
Detroit, Michigan.
Ah, okay. So it's
Yeah.
a US-based company, but they have outsourced the work to other countries.
Yes, so we have developers here, we have engineers here, we also have engineers all over the world, designers all over the world. So that way we can provide the best possible for each of our clients depending on their needs.
Got you. What's the typical, and I know it's going to depend on requirements though, this question here, what is the typical time frame for a project? And I'm specifically talking app design because I am looking.
So it does depend completely on the requirements. I think to give you an accurate time, we would need to know more details about the project, and we can definitely schedule a meeting to talk about that. I will say some of our projects take around a year, some of them are longer, some are shorter. It completely depends.
Okay.
And some of that time too is based on what resources we use. If
Gotcha.
they're all US, it would take a bit longer. They're not working around the clock. It's so, but we do walk you through all of that. So
yeah, I definitely want to set up a consultation. I just interviewed one company and I'm interviewing companies because I need to decide what I'm going to do. I have a product that works in conjunction with an app, right? The app has been partially developed by Georgia Tech University. It's not complete. It's a patented product, patented invention. We have interest, but they want us to complete the app. So that's where we are right now. Now, with your hybrid model, is the cost part is kind of split, right? Because you have US-based pricing and then you'll have overseas pricing. So is that how that works?
it is. It's also dependent on the seniority of the resource as well. So they are our team. They're not outsourced. So we are very familiar with their level of experience, and that also has the cost has some dependency on that as well.
Okay, got you. All right. Yeah, I sent my email over. I definitely would at least want to have a conversation with you guys.
Yeah, that would be great. We will definitely reach out to you to set that up.
Yeah, I'm gonna look your company up. Cognet, is that it?
Cogent. Yep. COGENT.
All right, COGENT. Okay.
And
great.
is your first name is showing up here as Jackson, is that correct?
Yeah, I go by Jackson.
Perfect.
So, yep, I'm definitely gonna reach out to you. We can schedule something and sit down and talk. And
Awesome. And I will be the point of contact for you. I did copy your email down, so I can send you an email so that you have an easy way to get in contact with us.
Okay, perfect. Sounds good.
Perfect. Awesome. Thank you so much, Jackson.
Oh, no problem whatsoever.
Okay, does anyone else have any other questions? Okay, if not, I think we can wrap it up.
Okay.
Thank you, Gabby. Thanks, Archana, and thanks everyone for joining.
Yes,
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank you,
all.
everyone.
Thanks for being here.
You're welcome. Thank you, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you, Jackson. Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.